Hi everyone, it's Lee here. Welcome to another day of my M.A.G.I.E challenge. So we're up to Flighty Things. So this is the 9th project and should be about the 20th of May that you're seeing this. And yeah, Flighty Things. So I'm going to use this napkin which has some butterflies on it as part of my background. And I've already gessoed my page, so that's all ready. So the first thing I want to do is to get a couple of those butterflies out and to glue them down. And then I'll put some colours on top, some paints. I've got a selection of paints here that I want to use. Squeeze some water down into this thing. And we'll go from there. So I hope everybody's well and happy. Been enjoying the challenge. And playing along or just watching. Let me know in the comments. So these are really nice butterflies, these ones. Okay, so easiest way to get the butterflies off is to use a wet paintbrush. In my case, I'm using a water brush and just wet around the outside of the butterfly, and that should just pull away. You can always cut them if you want to, and you can just tear if you like. It took me a while to remember to use this method. I used to tear mostly. And then people kept commenting, why don't you use the water brush? I said, oh. Well, I don't use it because I don't remember to use it. But I have been lately. So I'm going to keep those two together. I've hardly used any of these serviettes, and I was really excited when I bought them because I didn't have any with butterflies on them. And I thought this was really nice. And you might be wondering, why don't I just put the piece of paper, put the napkin down as it is? The answer is it's square and my page is rectangular. So I want to position them where I want to put them and not have to stay within the constraints of the shape of the napkin in the first place. So these are going to be covered up significantly over the process of making this page, but we'll see how we go. So I could leave those two together, I guess. So I'm going to leave that as a pair. Okay, so I'm going to use matte gel medium to paste them down, and I'm going to start with the middle for a change, and I'm just going to plonk them there. I'm not worried about them getting wrinkly. That's fine. They don't have to be a whole butterfly either, so that one will end up being trimmed off. Okay, I'm going to dry them off, and then I'm going to put some paint on the page. Cut that. Alright, that's dry enough to work on, so I'm going to use this stencil and some paints, and what I'll do is I'll put the paint on, and then I'll get the stencil and wipe over it with a baby wipe so it removes part of the paint and leaves the pattern of the stencil behind. Okay, so I'll start with that colour. Probably should have been a little bit more random with the way I put that paint on there. So I'm just going to wipe away the paint. Oops, just wiped away a bit of the napkin as well. Oh yeah, that's not bad, but it's a bit dark in a couple of places. So I'm just gonna see if I can get rid of a little bit more. I think the pattern on this is too big. It looks okay. Let me just try. There's a fair bit of paint on this. I'm just going to see if I can get some of it on the paper down here. Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. Okay, so I want to dry each colour so that the colours don't mix together. I'm going to swap to a different stencil. I just feel that that's, I don't know, it's not right. It's just not what I wanted. So I'm going to try the smaller one. It may not work either, but we'll give it a try. So I've got this coral colour. I'll put that over it and wipe away the paint. It hasn't worked that great either. Maybe there was too much paint there. So I think I need something in between the two. Alright, so I'll leave that as it is and I'll get a different stencil. Maybe this one, the holes are a bit bigger, I think. Sort of. Okay, I'm going to try for a bit of this colour again. Actually, I'm going to go back to the diamonds, and I think I better dry that. So I go back to this raw sienna. Just going to put it on with a brush instead of a knife. So what I'm trying to get is this colour across that one area. A new baby wipe. I might have to make a new stencil with smaller diamonds on it. And it's not too bad. Now I want to use some of that coral colour again. The next colour that I wanted to use was gold. Some gold there. Spread that around. May not be enough contrast between these colours, perhaps. I'll have to put in a colour that's completely different. Now I'm going to use white and stick with the same stencil for the time being. So I'm just going to put the white where I think it's just too dark. I'm actually liking the original bit that I did that I didn't like in the first place, but now it's growing on me. Okay, I'll dry that. Just had an idea before that gets completely dry that I have this alphabet stencil. I might just put that on there and give that a wipe and see what happens, see whether that makes, before it's, you know, before it's completely dry, whether I can get something to show there. Getting a clean baby wipe. Might already be a bit too dry. I'm just taking some of it off, but I've got to rub a bit to get it to work. Hopefully I won't put a hole in the paper. Didn't really show much, did it? See if I can get an X out of this. Oops. Not really. Okay. I'll just go back to plan A and dry that off. Okay. So I've got this colour, which is called Tahiti. I'm going to put some of this on. Well, I like the way that looks, so I'm going to put some down here as well. Use my hand. Yep, like that. I'm going to dry it off. I'm going to add something really contrasting now, and that is this midnight blue, which is like Payne's grey. Little guard's fallen inside, so I'm going to use the same technique of putting the paint on the page and then wiping the stencil off. So I'm just going to put that there for the time being. And I'm going to use this bubbly, circly stencil. Okay, I quite like the way that's looking, but I think it needs another bit of dark up the top there to balance that out. So I'm just going to place some up here. Try and get it to the edge of the page this time. I'm going to use this one because it's bigger, and that's the only reason why. And I like the way when you pick up the paint with the baby wipe, you can go into those other areas and spread it a little bit. What I don't like is that straight edge just here, so I'm just going to colour that a little bit. It's a bit different because it's got the paint from the back of the stencil. Let's push that onto there just to blend it a little bit. Maybe your finger might work better. Yeah, not really. Okay, so I'm actually liking the way this is looking at the moment, although we're a long way from being finished. I would like to dry it off again, and then I'm going to do some stamping, maybe some runs as well. And I need to clean my hands. I'm thinking it needs a little bit more of that blue. Is there enough? There might be enough paint in here to do it. Yeah. Okay. Put a little bit there. Just going to join that bottom up. Yep. This is a bit square. I'm going to take that up there. And I'm just going to go over this. Alrighty, I'm going to dry it and then do some stamping. So I've got black archival ink, and I've just got this. It's a Kaiser Craft stamp, and it's just a really simple pattern. Just want to pop some of that in here and there. It looks nice over the top of the dark paint, because it looks like it's behind the dark paint. So I really like that. Any more? Maybe just a bit there. A little bit there. Okay. Now I want another stamp to put on there. Something a little bit bolder. I want to use my old faithful little text stamp here, and I've got this rhubarb ink, which is a really dark red. I just think the pop of red, if it shows up, is going to be nice. I'm not sure whether you would be able to see that at the moment. And I don't want a huge amount of it. Show you. You can just see it up there and down there. It's just a nice contrast against the blues. Now I've got my white ink pad. I thought a little bit of white in there might look nice. And get rid of the red off there. Just going to try a little bit of white text. Looks quite nice. It's good on the dark. Okay, and while I'm at it, try a little bit of this one. I'm just trying to think what colour. I'll try a little bit in white, see how that looks. Might be, yeah, I don't like it in the white. Okay, so maybe the red. It's a bit messy. Yeah, I don't want too much of that in there. Okay, that'll do for that. And one other thing I would like to do is to get a little bit of texture paste on here, through a stencil, of course. So I've got these butterfly masks by PM Artist Studio, and I thought maybe a couple of them might look good in here. So that one there, maybe that one there, and then this one up the top here somewhere. Okay, so I'm going to get the texture paste. Oops. Just tidy up that around there and just pull that off. I'll have to go into a bath, all that paste soaked off. These are really meant to be used as masks on the gel plate. Well, that's where they work best. So doing this can be a little bit messy, a little bit tricky, and a little bit not perfect, but I don't mind that. That's two. Oops. No good when that happens. Don't press so hard. Okay, so I'm going to dry them off. I'll just zoom in a bit so you can see them possibly a bit better. So we've got one there, one there, one here. Okay, I've got some gilding polish. So it's metallic and the colour is got to be on here somewhere. Golden olive. So it's a greeny gold sort of colour, if you can see. And I'm just going to use my finger to put some gilding paste on the butterfly. The ones that I've done with the texture paste. Just to lift them off the page. And what I'm going to do now is with just a bit of tissue paper or the back of the napkin is to just give them a little bit of a polish. Okay, now I'm going to get an acrylic marker. So this is a Montmartre one. It's got the two different ends on it. And I'm just going to do a little bit of my favourite circles. So I'm going to put some dots. A few dots on these ones. Okay, then I just want to do a little bit more mark making. Really roughly outlining these circles up here. And I think I'm going to just roughly go around this butterfly's wings. So I've got a big thick marker, big Posca pen here. I want to just put some marks up in this top right hand corner. I might just draw over them just to lighten this up a little bit. It's better, the inks or the paint's flowing a bit better now. I think it might just need a couple more. Maybe down here as well. Colour in a couple of these. I'm not going to do all of them, just a couple or a few. I don't really like this thing, but there's not much I can do about it now, so I'm just going to put some white in it. And just going to do that. Am I going to regret it? Possibly. You don't like that? I'm going to have to do something about it. Because it's paint in these Poscas, you do have the opportunity to mix it around a little bit. This one, where it's way too late, unless a baby wipe can get it off, maybe. What I should have done was got a thinner one, a finer marker. I think I might be in luck here. Yeah, and done it with like a gel pen, maybe. Maybe that's not as bad as I thought it was, but going to go around here again with this one, just to cover over a bit of that horrible white. Now, what else do I need? Just maybe some little marks. This one hasn't got anything around it, so let's go around it with this acrylic pen. Nice and sketchy. You know, I think I'd like to put some words on that, so I'm going to go and find some. Actually, before I do that, I want to do something here. I want to sort of make that look like it's part of this other mess. So even when it's a mess, it hasn't turned out the way you wanted it to, it's still not a problem. Nothing to get upset about, that's for sure. And I'm just going to go in here with the white Posca. Just colour in some bits of that. Just so it sort of looks like it's meant to be. That looks better. Okay, I'm going to go and find some words to put on this. Okay, so I'm going to use these words. The D was broken, so I'm going to draw the D on. It's a dream weaving team. And even though that's a bit big, I think it's still going to be alright. I've glued that onto there and I've put the D on. So this is just a page out of a little notepad, like a to-do notepad. And it's got these nice gold lines on it. Not that you'll see too much of them, but they are there. Yeah, I'll trim that up a bit and then I'm just going to draw on the page. Just decided that. So making things up as I go along. What's the word for that? Can't think what the word is. So just adapting as I go. I don't like all of that there. Get rid of that. Making compromises and alterations. I sort of like it there, but then it's going to get, oh no, it's not really in the fold. Let me have a look from back here. I think that'll do, in there somewhere. I can always doodle around it if I don't like it. Check that that's straight-ish. Whoops. Was straight. think that'll do. And I'm just going to use this acrylic pen to doodle around the outside. Okay, I'm just going to look at it for a few seconds and decide, does it need anything else? Around the edge. I had to tidy up and put all the stuff that had accumulated on the desk away. My trusty crayon was one of the things that got put away. Out of sight, out of mind. Unless it's sitting in front of me, I forget that I have some of these things. Almost need a list, an inventory of what I've got. And I was pretty good this time because even though I still made this up as I went along, I had a plan of the colours I was going to use and what I was going to do as far as the stenciling and that sort of thing. I already knew how that was going to play out. How it was going to be put together, I wasn't sure. So that's all been an organic thing. I just realised you wouldn't have seen me do that, but all I did was put the crayon along the bottom. Don't want to write on this other page because these pages are uneven, so that's my page below there. I'm really loving that combination of colours. I think that's great. I'm loving the way this is looking, I really am. Maybe I should colour in this thing. I think that looks a bit better. Okay, I do believe I'm going to call that done. So that is Flighty Things. The next one we're doing is Yikes, I Can't Do a Portrait. Yes, you can. I'll show you an easy way of doing one in the next video. Okie dokie. Let me know what you think. I love this. I think it's great. It's just, there's so much depth in there. It's just beautiful. And I'm so glad I happened to watch one of Lisa Oxley's tutorials, or she does time-lapse videos. And I know I've seen other people wiping away the paint from underneath, you know, from the stencils, but I've never really noticed, well, I've never taken much notice of it, and this really sparked my interest. Okay, let me know what you think. Give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, share the video with your friends, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. All those good things that YouTube algorithm loves, and I love too. Alright, see you for the portrait one. That'll put the cat among the pigeons, won't it? Alright, until then, happy crafting, happy painting, happy creating, and hugs and cheers from Australia. Hooroo!